Hello guys, hope you're well. I'm not at the Emirates tonight, I'm in Nottingham for other reasons, in a hotel. I watched the game in a pub and I'm doing dry January at the moment, trying to lay off the booze a bit after the Christmas period. And let me tell you, that game, I know it's only early January, but that game put me to the test. Made for sober viewing, that is for sure. Arsenal 0, Newcastle 2 in the Carabao Cup semi-final. First leg. I think that's a disastrous result. I'm not one who's prone to overstatement. I think that is a disastrous result. For several reasons. In the context of our season, kind of a bit of concern over maybe faltering league form. You know, drop points at Brighton. I know that was offset a bit by Liverpool dropping points against Man United, but I think everyone was looking at this week, 2 cup competitions, a chance to really push on, 2 games from a Wembley final in the Carabao Cup. And I think I would call that semi-final all but over now. And I hesitate to do that because it's football and you never want to kind of accept that you're beaten. But 2-0 going to St James's, I think that is very, very difficult to overturn. I think if Arsenal had nicked 1, the tie is alive. And I think if Newcastle nick a 3rd, it's 100% over. As it is, I mean, I would use the phrase all but out. I really do think we needed a positive result tonight. I was hoping if we could win by a couple of goals, which I know the underlying metrics might suggest we should have done, then that would put us in a healthy position. As it is, it's very, very unhealthy. And I think it's doubly disastrous because we've got to play that second leg. If it's an FA Cup game or a one-off cup tie and you're beaten, you at least have the kind of consolation of, well, that's one less fixture in a really congested second half of the season with this expanded Champions League and what have you. Arsenal don't even have that. They've got to go to St James's, and at 2-0 they probably have to take it seriously. They probably have to contest it. They probably have to make a game of it. And look, who knows, maybe they will. But I'm just giving you my honest feeling right now, shortly after full time. I think that's very unlikely. Maybe that's partly because of the way we're playing as well. I mean, let's talk about the metrics. Let's talk about the amount of chances Arsenal had. The XG was something like 3, I gather. That's really high. I mean, albeit spread over 23 attempts on goal, you would expect a team who produces that sort of expected goals to actually convert some goals. So I'm sure there'll be some people who defend the performance on that grounds. I have a feeling that will fall on deaf ears right now because I think there are wider frustrations in the fan base, and I think a lot of them are fair and valid. Half of that XG was created on set pieces, I'm told. Is that an issue? I don't know. Of the 23 attempts Arsenal had on goal, only 3, I believe, tested Dubravka. And he was up to it, made one very good save from Gabriel, for example, in the first half. Gabriel Martinelli went through on goal, should have hit the target, didn't hit the post. That doesn't count as a shot on target. Kai Havertz missed a very, very good chance when the ball dropped out the sky. Didn't make contact with his header in any way. Saliba, timber off of dead balls. I remember having opportunities. There were chances there, undoubtedly, and we didn't take them. And I think the most simplistic analysis is that the team with the best attack won. And I think it might be right, in that I looked at our front three and I looked at Newcastle's and I thought, I think theirs might be better. I mean, we've spoken about the importance of form, confidence, freshness. They have a lot more of that to them. I think I'm right in saying they don't have European football this year, so they've got a pretty free run at this competition and the league, and that's working really well for them right now. Freshness, form, confidence, they've got all those things, and I'm not sure our guys do. I don't think we have a forward of the calibre of Alexander Isak. Certainly with Bukayo Saka out, we don't. And I think he was the difference. If I look at that chance that fell to Havertz and the way he fluffed it, and then I look at the way the chance fell to Isak, uncharacteristically sloppy defending from us, but the way he just absolutely leathered it into the roof of the net, off the bar, I think that is the difference. And even the second goal, great play from Isak, I thought, to take that ball in the box, find the space, get the shot away. It's a good save from Raya, but Timber doesn't react quickly enough, and there's Anthony Gordon, who does. He does react. He's a live wire, and he's another player who, after a bad start to the season, has really turned the corner. And that's the thing. You need your players to hit form concurrently at the right time in pockets, and Arsenal are having the exact opposite of that. I know people will look at our performance and say we created chances. Look how many shots we had. Look at the XG. I still have real reservations about the way we are attacking generally. I think we're ponderous at times. I think we take too many touches. That Martinelli chance was a great example of playing one-touch, two-touch football, progressing the ball quickly, playing forward, and getting a player to run through on goal. How often do you see that in an Arsenal game? So rare. And I know teams come in and they sit in a low block, but I think we let them do that. Listen, I'm no coach, but I feel like, the centre-halves, the centre midfielders, sometimes the full-backs are taking 2, 3, 4 touches of the ball at times before picking their pass. And it means that teams get reorganised, they regroup, they get back. And we're met with, at one point in the game, literally 2 banks of 5. That was the final 20 minutes. And then you find yourself sort of hoping we get a corner and we kind of play that roulette of lumping everyone in the box and seeing what comes of it. And listen, it's good fun in a way, that. But if I'm being totally frank with you, just between us, that's not really how I want to feel about Arsenal. Like our best chance of scoring is from a corner. It's not really, the kind of football I dream of, shall we say. There's so much mitigation. Players injured, players out of form, tired group, illness in the group. I hear all of that. But we can only assess what we're doing right now. And I don't think it's... I don't think, in fairness to Mikel Arteta, I don't think that this can be what he wants, right? We often say, is that Mikel as a manager? He's a bit more structured, a bit more conservative. I don't know. I can't imagine he's happy. But then he does say things in press conferences that make me think, is he? He'll say, we should have, we deserve to win those games. And I'm like, well, you only deserve to win the game if you put the ball in the net, mate. I do sort of sometimes feel like that. I often feel like managers talk as if their job is everything except putting the ball in the net. And I'm like, well, it's kind of the most important bit. How much influence he can have over that, I don't know. This is a bit of a ramble. I'm really disappointed. I promised I didn't have a drink. I know it sounds like I did. I'm just really disappointed and a bit deflated. I said this on the Arsecast on Monday, but I think if there's something the club have been guilty of in recent years, I think it's sometimes that they operate as if they're going to get the optimal outcome from their players. It's going to seem like I'm picking on him, and I don't mean to, but take Kai Havertz, right? Kai had an outstanding second half of last season. Really good. One of the best players in the Premier League, good. I personally never believed that was then just who he was. And now we had this great number 9 and we didn't need to worry about that anymore. I think that, and listen, he's our top scorer this season, I believe. It's not that he's been poor. I just think that you can't make squad building decisions based on when players are in their purple patch. And I feel like he's an example of where that's happened. And we need to strengthen the attack. Is it going to be possible in January? I don't know. And what I would say is we need a right-sided attacker more than anything. Trossard played on the right today, so Martinelli's had a go, Ranieri's had a go, did well, got injured. Trossard's having a go now, which means they know Martinelli isn't a right winger, he's a left winger, and that's the best orientation of that attack. Trossard wasn't particularly good tonight. Raheem Sterling didn't get off the bench. We need someone who can play on the right. Okay, whether it's Kolo Muani or Lee Kang-in from PSG, I don't know. But that is the position that Arsenal need to be looking at urgently, because I think that is where we are weakest by far. And if we can get someone there, we'll be better. I think if we can get more than one in, obviously it'd be great. But my expectations are low. And I understand it in some respects, because to be honest, this ain't our season, and I'm not convinced really that we can do enough in January to change that. That is, I think it was it around the 2-2 with Liverpool? Regular viewers of the channel will know at some point a couple of months ago, I was like, this ain't our season. I can tell. And nothing since then has dissuaded me of that. Nothing at all. Rare to hear me so downbeat. I think maybe that's just Nottingham. But a really bad result and a bad night. Well done if you stuck with it this far, and I'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.